As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I am joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Very good morning to all of you from Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, a deemed to be university, and its centers of excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies. Welcome the participants from India and abroad for the National Webinar Series on Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022 on every Thursday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Today, 17th December 2020, this webinar is on the topic Weather Decision Technologies for Increasing Farm Income. To fulfill the objective of doubling the farmers' income by 2022 of Government of India, on behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the faculty members of the university, and my behalf, and also as Professor Emeritus and Chairman of Center of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies. Welcome our today's guest speakers, Mr. Coromilas Jones, Vice President, Global Sales, DTN, Minnesota, United States of America, and Dr. Harinder Singh Ahluwalia, President, IES Canada and IES India, and also Mr. Leonardo. Warm welcome from the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut. So far, under this webinar series, the university has organized 10 webinars on the topics, namely, role of agricultural cooperative societies and e-governance, blockchain technology-based fishery value chain, a self-contained village, a felt need of the day, spices informatics network value chain, lantana camera, a camouflaged treasure trove, smart hill agriculture, Mera mobile, Mera marketing, means my mobile, my marketing, integrated mariculture, aquaponics, and precision agriculture, MAPA biofarms for income revolution, smart tribal agriculture, optimizing value chain, digital agri-tech and industry perspective, land resources information system in India, present and road ahead. Today is the 12th edition of this national webinar series, which is being addressed by international experts of the field on the topic, Weather Decision Technologies for Increasing Farm Income. ICT-enabled farm-centric agricultural services is needed in India for the farmers. Indian agriculture confronts with its sheer complexity, inadequate factors of production, weather uncertainties, multiplicity of schemes, and multiplicity of institutions at farm level. Indian farming community comprises of about 14 crore farmers, of which 85% farmers have small and marginal size operational holding. Agriculture services such as agricultural advisories, financial services, agriculture marketing, and risk transfer are required for the entire agricultural commodity value systems of the farmer. Farmer needs timely, location-specific, and personalized information for effective control on their production, risk, and then market their produce to identified market opportunities. This requires a robust national database on farmers with their assets and prevailing agrarian distress at grassroots levels. Many national level programs, namely Digital India 2015, Make in India 2015, Skill India 2015, Startup India 2015, and Stand Up India 2015, have faced operational difficulties for its impact at farm level and farmer level, and that too at small and marginal farmers. ICT-enabled agriculture services, digitalization of agriculture, and farm extension 4.0 were deliberated in the Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022 report 2018. There are two volumes talk about this aspect. Volume 12B, chapter 7 to 10 of the digital technology in agriculture. Volume 11 talks about empowering the farmers through extension and knowledge management dissemination. The Doubling the Farmers' Income by 2022 committee report suggested in its volume 12B strategic use of digital technology in farming systems life cycle through 7 mission mode programs. One is digitalized agriculture, digital technology and innovation in agriculture, Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India programs for transformational reforms in agriculture sector through synergy into smart irrigated farming, smart rainfed farming, and smart tribal farming. This is one mission mode project. The second one, which is prioritized, is digitalized agromet advisories and agricultural risk management solutions. Your address today is the first address in this webinar series to facilitate achieving digitalized agromet advisories and agricultural risk management solutions. Third, digitalized agricultural resources information system and micro level planning for achieving smart village and smart farming. Fourth, digitalized value chain for 400 agriculture commodities from farm to fork. Digitalized access to inputs, technology, knowledge, skill, agricultural finance, credit, marketing, and agribusiness management to farmers. Sixth, digitalized integrated land and water management system. And seventh is digitalized farm health management for reduction of farmers' health to achieve One Health Eco Health, means farmer health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, and fishery health, which is not there in the world anywhere. Shobhit University is now has come out with a policy paper, discussion paper on integrated farm health management system for reduction of farmers' health, means health informatics, as a new academic discipline comprising of these 6 parameters. Weather decision technologies for increasing farm income is the topic today for discussion. We heard forecasted weather information and agromet advisories, means weather proofing farm production. It is to be achieved, and it is a critical input for saving the farming. Another one is that agrifying weather data, how the weather data can be utilized for agricultural operation. And another terminology which is being talked about is agrifying weather data, making a difference in precision farming. Weather reflects short-term conditions of the atmosphere, while climate is the average daily weather for an extended period of time at a certain location. Precision farming, location-specific agricultural decision support system are the need of the hour. Climate is what you expect, weather is what you get. Hazardous weather prediction. decision analytics are available nowadays via APIs and GIS layers and risk management mitigation service as a software as a service platform, SaaS platform. Combine artificial intelligence and weather technologies with agricultural IoT data to unlock new insights that can help stakeholders to increase profitability and sustainability. Big data analytics of weather data utilizes a cloud computing platform, distributed processing technology, and a big data framework. Farmers today in many countries utilize weather prediction tools to advise them precisely when to plant, when to spray insecticides, when to apply fertilizer, when to harvest, using accurate forecasts that are hyper-located to each farm. Weather, climate, and farmers are totally interconnected, interrelated. Farms' decisions that are amenable to weather and climate information to be identified clearly so that weather and climate information can be better tailored to suit farm decision. Challenges in linking meteorological and climatological information with a wide range of farming decisions are needed to be addressed. The management of weather and climate risk in agriculture has become an important issue due to climate change. Intergovernmental panel on climate change has highlighted multiple climate risks for agriculture and food security, as well as potential of improved weather and climate early warning systems to assist farmers. Wise use of weather and climate information can help to make better informed policy, institutional and community decisions, and increase that reduce related risk and enhance opportunities and improve the efficient use of limited resources and increase crop, livestock, and fisheries production. National meteorological and hydrological services have an important role to play in providing this weather and climate information to the farmers, be big farmer or small farmer. Agriculture sector is the foundation of Indian economy. It employs more than 50% of Indian workforce and contributes about 17 to 18% of its GDP. And at present, agricultural livelihoods are being severely impacted world over as a result of anthropogenic global warming and climate change. India is labor intensive and subsistence-based agriculture sector is basically particularly vulnerable to this development. Climate change has both the direct and indirect effects on agricultural productivity, including changing rainfall patterns, severe drought, flooding, and changes in the geographical distribution of pests and diseases. Indian weather seems to have given a pocket full of sunshine to private forecasters. The weather company of IBM, WTN.com, and SkyMat, etc., from across the world, with $100 million market opting for their services for various projects in India. Niti Aayog of India desired use of artificial intelligence in precision farming to develop climate-aware cognitive farming technique and identifying systems of crop monitoring, early warning on pest disease outbreak based on advanced artificial intelligence innovation. Agromet advisory services provide a very special kind of inputs to farmers as advisories that can make a tremendous difference to the agricultural production by taking the advantage of benevolent weather and minimize the adverse impact of malevolent weather. Ministry of Earth Sciences operationalized weather services for marine fishermen through its INCOSIS program. The INCOSIS services can be made available through RealCraft project through its 166 base location for marine fishermen in 9 coastal states and 4 coastal UTs in India. According to NCAR report, National Center for Agricultural Economic Research report on impact assessment and economic benefits of weather and marine services. Reveals that economic profit estimates can vary between 50,000 crores, where 24% farmers receive weather information, to rupees 2,11,000 crores, where all farmers receive weather information. Agromet advisory services needs to be taken to doorsteps of farmers by using the latest emerging IT and web technologies, mobile services, e-post, community radios, all India radio stations, more than 500 Indian TV channels, and the proposed 2.25 lakhs Digital India Common Services Centers at Panchayat level. IMD is operating a project Gramin Krishi Mausam Seva with an objective to serving the farming community at the different parts of the country. According to the ICRISAT data report, data with the Indian government suggests that agromet advisories have the potential to yield benefits worth over $430 billion for India's 90 million agricultural household. It is a very important statement made by ICRISAT, which has been published in agritimes.co.in dated 3rd May 2020. About a quarter of these, the farming community, access some form of advisories and benefit from it, though this is still well short of the total risk management benefits that can accrue if all farm households were to access advisories. Data acquisition from multiple problems, generating content for dissemination, and its delivery with feedback has got its own challenges and opportunities. Agriculture Mission Mode project under the National E-Governance Program in 2008 has identified as one of the 12 clusters of services, namely information on forecasted weather and agromet advisories. From 2008 to now 2018, the Doubling the Farmer's Income has identified as a second priority mission mode project a digitalized agromet advisories and agricultural risk management system. Let us now turn to today's talk by the international experts, Mr. Peter Coromilas Jones, Vice President Global Sales, DTN, Minnesota, USA, and Dr. Harinder Singh Ahluwalia, President IES Canada and IES India, on the topic weather decision technologies for increasing farm income. Let me introduce our first speaker, Mr. Peter Jones. He will talk on climate smart initiatives for agriculture, utilizing weather decision technologies for increasing farm revenues, yields, and water and soil conservation. Mr. Peter Coromilas Jones is currently the Vice President, Global Sales, DTN, Minnesota, USA. Peter is a business executive and entrepreneur with professional experience and P&L responsibility with several multinational technology-based companies. Peter currently is expanding international market for DTN. DTN is the largest B2B and B2G weather service providers globally. DTN has worked exclusively with the Department of Commerce to provide a variety of service in over 15 countries since 2016. DTN is a recipient of the 2020 President's E Award for Exporting Excellence. Peter was raised in Greece and Lebanon and is bilingual Greek and English and fluent in Spanish, French, along with basic Turkish, Portuguese, German, and Russian. He has resided in 10 countries and has business and cultural experience in over 84 countries. Peter has earned a bachelor degree in marketing and French languages in Auburn University and MA at Middlebury College in International Studies and Diplomacy. Peter served in the US Diplomatic Service as a geopolitical and agricultural advisor in the Near East and Africa. In 2020, Peter was elected to serve as a board member of the National District Export Council, NADEC, representing US exporters, and advises the US Secretary of Commerce on trade policy. Peter also serves on the US Global Leadership Coalition Advisory Board and a former US congressional advisor on Near Eastern affairs for 2 US presidents. Peter Jones can be reached through peter.jones@dtn.com. We welcome Mr. Peter Jones for your kind address. Over to Mr. Peter Jones. Mr. Peter Jones.
Thank you, Professor Moni, and thank you also on behalf of Shobhit University for that kind introduction. That's very nice, very kind of you. And we're very happy to be here on behalf of DTN and our partners, Info Electronics, that are in Canada and in India as well. I'm going to share my screen here for a minute. Do you see my screen now?
No.
No? Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So again, thank you, Professor Moni, and also for Shobhit University for the opportunity to speak with you today. Also extend my thanks to Mr. Chabra and Chairman Kataria as well for hosting us today. So I wanted to speak with you about the climate smart initiatives that are prevalent today around the world, and to share with you some of the latest technology that's available to the farming community and to agriculture currently used in other countries and other areas. So what is climate change, and what really does it mean? And climate change is really how does the climate change over a period of 30 years? And then how long, and then how is the long-term average of weather changing? And we do know that climate has been changing for many years. And today we do know, since climate has been monitored since the relatively the 1860s, we do know that it's experiencing very rapid changes. And so we also know from our data for the last 28 years from DTN that individual weather events are becoming more volatile and more intense in their duration. So as a result, we have been working with the United Nations, with the UN Climate Smart, and that's really to achieve 3 of the goals of the UN, or the SDGs, and that's ending hunger, which is basically to provide food security and a sustainable agriculture, to fight climate change, to take urgent action, and actually have technology that you can immediately put into place to mitigate climate change. And then strengthen partnerships for development, which is part of our collaboration with Info Electronics and Shobhit University and other partners in India to develop know-how and technology for climate mitigation. So we know that as the world population reaches 9 billion, the FAO, the UN FAO, estimates that food production is going to increase the need for its 60 to 70%, in order to maintain that world population, and also 70% of the global water that is used is consumed by agriculture. So the impact of water, soil, and water management is critical to agriculture, not only the weather and the mitigation of weather. So we see that as populations increase, it will make smart city technologies more important, and the use of climate information to the farming community more important. We have been tracking weather, as I said, for the last 28 years. We can see in the US from 1960 until 2010 that there were periods of drought. Approximately, you can see from the arrows here. And during these periods of drought, these were areas which caused extreme reductions in yields. And during these times of drought, this also were economic periods of distress. So we can track climate change and the impact of climate, not only on food and the price of food, but also the economic stability of a country and the economy. And we can see this globally as well. So what we know, as I mentioned, is that climate events are becoming more intense and greater in their duration. So when there's a flood, for example, it is more intense and longer. If there's a heat wave, it is more intense in temperature and longer. And typically the seasons now have changed so that it's difficult for farmers in any country to predict using last year's or last 2 or 3 years climate information to make decisions on when to plant. So we term the area, there's a lot of talk about precision agriculture. And what does this really mean? Precision agriculture is making decisions that are precise and more accurate, that are based on weather, so that you can reduce your cost, you can optimize your operations, you can increase yields, and at the end to also provide sustainability to the ecology. So weather conditions impact over 75% of the costs of agriculture. So that's production, diseases, insects, livestock, erosion, soil nutrients, and operations are all impacted by weather. And these represent all of the major costs to a farming operation or to any local farmer. So DTN has been working with the United Nations in several countries in Central Asia, Central America, Southeast Asia, in developing not only funding, but also providing a national solution to farmers and bringing technology, making it affordable to the farming communities in these areas so that they can utilize and make better decisions and receive the benefits of weather prediction technology. So some of the goals of the UN projects are agriculture, are primarily is what the United Nations is interested in. It's also hydropower, and that's monitoring reservoirs and rivers and weather forecasting and being able to predict power and dam operations as well, and water and weather management alerting systems, both for farmers and for municipalities. So DTN is the world leader in providing weather services to the private sector. And these are a number of our customers around the world that use our weather. And I'll talk a little bit about the methodology of what we do. We also have over 250 meteorologists that are working 24/7 in Australia, Europe, the United States, that consult our customers and provide quick and rapid information on various weather conditions. We also have a weather systems group that provides the infrastructure or the hardware, and oftentimes in many cases that doesn't exist, like the weather stations or the monitoring equipment. And we also work with airports and air authorities around the world. For example, Meteo Suisse in Switzerland and the Schiphol Amsterdam Airport. We also manage their entire weather system at the many airports, over 50 airports in Europe and in Latin America, in over 80 countries. So in sensors, we also provide health and environmental sensors that relate to air quality, soil, and water supply. Agriculture, we provide very basic can provide the weather stations, or we can source them locally and actually look for production of equipment that is available locally in India. We can also measure climate, greenhouse gases, and carbon dioxide. We also can provide water resources for management in marshlands in order to combat water pollution. And we provide aviation equipment such as AWAS and LWAS and lightning detection for airports and airport authorities. And we're a global company. We work in a number of countries in many parts of the world. It's a list here of some of our areas that we cooperate. So I want to focus really on agriculture. DTN pioneered the use of weather information technology to farmers, and we have over 500,000 farmers around the world that subscribe to our weather service. And these are some of the customers that are below our customers today, that you can see some of their logos, large global companies. So how does the technology work, and what do we do? Typically, in order for us to provide the farmer with a high location forecast, it's first done by putting a very simple weather station on the farm. And this weather station covers an area of, say, 5 square kilometers. And this weather station connects to our global weather proprietary network, which I will show you in just a bit. So we have a global weather network that provides the farmer decision tools on when to make certain decisions. This is an example of spraying fertilizer or insecticides. And on this farmer's farm, for example, we can provide this information on a cell phone or a computer, and we can show the farmer which day and which hour precisely to spray or not to spray fertilizer or insecticide. We also provide field mobility. So we provide information on when the field can be accessed. And this is critical for areas where there's large farms that have many fields, or areas where the farmers are unsure whether they can go into their fields. We are the only weather provider that provides a 14-day weather forecast on the farm by hour. So we provide all the weather information, all of the general weather parameters 14 days in advance with 80% accuracy at 14 days. And we can provide this globally for any location. We use artificial intelligence and machine learning technology. And the way we calculate and develop our technology is we actually use data. There are 12 weather models around the world that are used. And what happens is some of these weather models are applicable in some areas and some in other areas. We use all 12. We also take real live data from all of the airports and many private and public weather stations in India currently for the last 20 years. And we synthesize this information using artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence and machine learning so that the forecast adapts itself, and we call adaptive learning, so that it learns the forecast not only in that region in India, but on that specific farm. We also want to share with you our latest technology, which is relative to soil moisture, which we call Clear Ag. So Clear Ag soil intelligence is critical for farmers because it's very difficult for farmers to know. It's important for farmers to know what their atmospheric and their weather conditions are and the prediction of weather. But they also want to know what is the soil doing, what's the soil moisture, and when is it time to irrigate, or when is it time to harvest, and how can I make those decisions? So we are the first company to be able to use LSMs or land soil models, which use sensors already. It uses satellite imagery and a variety of information. We take these land satellite models and we're able to predict without the use of any sensors the soil on any area of land anywhere in the world, which is relatively flat, which means predominantly most of the land in India. And this information we provide with an data feed, or what we call an API, to the which can be developed to a third party and can be developed locally to create exactly the needs that a farmer is looking for. So why is soil moisture intelligence important? It's critical for salinities, for field access, for crop needs, for disease, for seed germination, harvesting, and pivoting operations. All of these areas require soil moisture intelligence. So this is our land surface modeling. Again, we take current land surface modeling models that exist, we bring them into our own data analytics. We use artificial intelligence so that we can actually look at any area of land anywhere on Earth and be able to predict and use artificial intelligence to predict the soil moisture at various depths without the use of placing any sensors in the soil or soil depth sensors. We also have historical data of this from 1980 going forward, so we can actually get historical information on soil data and soil conditions in your area, again, without the use of sensors. Excuse me. And we have also can provide it at various types of depths and provide that 10 days into the future, prediction of soil moisture 10 days into the future. So again, the summary is BTN provides a variety of weather solutions and weather information that is very high tech, using artificial intelligence, using machine learning, that allows the farmers to make very important decisions to reduce their costs, to increase their yields, and to manage the water and the soil better than before. So this is kind of concludes my presentation, and I thank you all for listening today, and appreciate the opportunity to make this introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Peter Jones, for your very effective presentation on the use of weather solutions in a very effective manner. And you also talked about the UN climate smart initiatives and how climate change is increasing weather volatility, and how food production is linked with precise information on weather, crops, and farming operations. And you also very nicely brought it out that 75% of the production cost is related to weather-related, functions. This is very important. In India, which has got about 85% of the farmers are small and marginal farmers, and if 75% of the production cost is related to weather, and if weather-related information, location-specific, crop-specific, is not available to them, it is a very difficult situation for the small and marginal farmers. For that matter, any scale, any level of farmers, then whether it is a small and marginal farmers or big farmers or medium level farmers. And then you also talked about DTN, a UN funded project, and very important message which was given is that you are providing about 500,000 farmers weather services, which is based on AI and machine learning based technique. This is important, and they also provide 84% accuracy for 14 days weather forecast, and provide accurate micro forecast based on local weather stations. And your presentation on the soil moisture intelligence is very important, because India has got about 14 crore soil health card. It's available. It means that 14 crore means 140 million soil health cards is digitalized format. So if the algorithm is applied on regions, location specific, on the soil health card, and bring out necessary decision support systems, advisories to the farmers, is very important. That's why the doubling the farmers' income on the second priority mission mode project talks about digitalized agromet advisories and risk management, agriculture risk management. And you provide DTN provide weather solutions using artificial intelligence and machine learning. It is a very important thing to look into it. So thank you very much for your very important presentation, and and you also very nicely said it in your synopsis that DTN technologies will increase farm income by providing unbiased and independent decision tools to the farmers. Our technologies, the DTN technologies, will reduce cost in application of fertilizer, seed, and insecticide, and provide key decision tools on water and irrigation management with digital technology, virtual technology, and so on and so forth. You are given a way forward for the application of Industry 4.0 technologies on agriculture through weather related advisory services and weather intelligence. And thank you very much for your presentation. Please stay with us throughout the session. Now let me introduce my good friend, great friend. We have our connections, interactions since 1919, Dr. Harinder Singh Ahluwalia is an NRI, lives in, just 1 minute. Lives in Canada, and he is the founder and president and CEO of Info Electronics Systems Incorporated, IES Canada and IES India. Dr. Ahluwalia did his Bachelor and Master of Technology in Electrical and Engineering and Communications Engineering, respectively, from India's premier institute, Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. He did another master's degree in microwaves and earned his doctorate degree in electromagnetic from the University of Manitoba in Winnipeg. Dr. Ahluwalia did his postdoctorate fellowship at McGill University in Montreal. He is the current president of International Forum of Meteorological Societies, and he was the president of Canadian Meteorological and Oceanographic Society in 2014 and was appointed its fellow in 2019. He won the Technology Man of the Year award from Indo-Canada Chambers of Commerce in 2010. In 2001, on the recommendation of the Prime Minister of Canada, Dr. Ahluwalia was appointed to the National Roundtable on Environment and the Economy, which deals with sustainable development. Dr. Ahluwalia has written a number of papers in reputed journals in the field of electrical engineering and meteorology. He is a member of ICCC, CMOS, AMS, and IITAC. Dr. Harinder Singh Ahluwalia can be reached through ha@info-electronics.com, and I welcome Dr. Ahluwalia to present his talk on the title Provision of Agromet Decision Support Systems in India to Agricultural Productivity. He will talk in two sessions, namely Part 2A and Part 2B. Part 2A will talk about what we did in the past in India in the field of agriculture, that is, that IES, his company, and B, what he planned to do to assist the government of India in its mission to double the income of farmers in the next 2 to 3 years, this by 2022. We welcome Dr. Ahluwalia ji to address the audience. Over to Dr. Ahluwalia.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Dr. Moni and myself, as he said, we go a long time. We have special respect for each other. I'm trying to share the screen now. Let's see. Share. Can you see anything? I don't think so.
No, it is.
It's not there yet,
screen.
Right?
Yes. Now you have to click the PowerPoint.
Dr. Ahluwalia, I am sharing your presentation. You can say next when you want to move on the next screen.
Okay.
But I feel strange because why my presentation is not visible.
Okay, let him, Dr. Ahluwalia, let Mr. Manish present it. You talk on that. to move to the next slide. It's coming. Okay.
Okay.
And you say it's from your system or from Mr. Manish?
This is from Mr. Malik's.
Okay, fine. So when you say next, he will move on to the next. Okay, please proceed.
Okay. So good morning, everybody. In Canada, it is midnight, and I'm so happy to participate in this webinar because India is extremely dear to me. I would like to do whatever I can to help India. In 1990s, I went all over India giving free lectures on new technologies, telecommunication, telemetry, and that's when I started the company in India. We are 40 years old company, and here, next please. You're not having control of the, next please. Okay, can you make it a little bigger on the screen? Okay, so, we are about 40 years old company. In India, we incorporated in 1995, which is about 25 years now. So we have celebrated our silver jubilee in India. We develop and integrate and configure systems in remote sensing, communication, meteorology, hydrology, and earth observation. Those are various areas we work in. Move, please. No, I can see only a part of the slide, not the whole slide. So maybe I should try to, again, share my screen. Can you stop sharing the screen and I will try to share my screen? Because like this, I cannot have the flow I need really. So maybe application. Yesterday, eventually, we were able to share. Can we see it?
No. Mr. Manish,
No.
can you
project
it properly? Mr. Manish?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Manish?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You project it in the larger framework?
Sir, I am sharing. Sir, I am sharing.
Because he says that only half of the screen is visible to him.
Also, when you don't have the control of the screen, the flow.
Yeah, no problem. But we have to. Okay, now let us.
Okay, now it is full screen. Okay, so next please.
Mr. Manish, next.
So just wait, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now I see only half the screen.
So we are able to see complete screen on. So now you are able to see the complete
My
screen or not?
is just, no, it's only half the screen.
Okay, you speak it out. You reduce it and project it, Mr. Manish.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please, Dr. Ahluwalia ji, if you have a screen on your, you can speak.
I don't understand why my screen.
It's coming now. You just.
Well, when he increases the size,
yes, sir.
half screen disappears.
Okay, now you don't increase it. Let him, Mr. Manish.
Yes, sir.
Please move on to the next slide.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
It's too small, it's very hard to read anything.
But
okay.
You can put it in your right hand side, your screen from your system and speak.
Okay, let's see. But then, you won't be able to see.
Shall I screen? Let me try from my side. Let me.
Technology sometimes can cause problems.
Yes, that's true. Mr. Manish, let me share from my side.
Okay, sir.
But yesterday we were able to get my screen going.
Yeah, that's true. It's why it is not showing now.
Okay, let me try one more time and.
Yeah, please let us try, Mr. Manish.
Okay. It's not sharing. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
You are also trying,
now,
and I'm trying. That's why it's.
No, I am now trying now. You try. You try.
Okay. Share application window and
Click your presentation and then share.
okay.
Is it on?
no, sir. So should I share from my side and Ahluwalia sir can open the presentation from his end? I'll show on screen and Ahluwalia sir can open PPT on his
please.
system.
Yeah, let us try it because time is getting wasted. That so please.
Yeah.
Okay, now it is clear. Allow.
No, but the problem is it's not showing the full screen. At least not on my computer.
Okay, Ahluwalia ji, what you do is that you reduce this your screen and open your PowerPoint and speak from there. People can view from here. You speak from your system. I know that your PowerPoint. And he will control.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll try to do that. Okay, IS is, as I said, 40 years old company. In India, 25 years. We work in the field of hydrometeorology, remote sensing, and environmental monitoring. Those are the areas we work in. Next one is project experience. We have done many projects in India, and one of the highlights is the project for India Meteorology Department, where we process the data from India's remote sensing satellite called INSAT series. And there were two instruments, AVHRR and CCD, each having 3 channels. So that is the system which India used one time for weather forecasting. We worked, next slide, please. Okay, you're not moving the slides.
Next slide.
One after that. Yeah, here is, these are the systems which are meant to be used for avalanche forecasting, and they measure all the weather parameters in the mountains. And some of these systems are also installed in Antarctica. Next slide, please. This is a water management system, very first in India, in 1999-2000 time frame, where Mahanadi and Chambal basins, we installed these systems to ensure that the new methods of water management as well as flood forecasting were introduced in India. Next one. Now we have created a new system which is called WebGIS. There were many predecessors of it, and this is an infrastructure which we can use for many different applications. Collaborative weather forecasting at airports, for we have used it in India for microwave radiometers. We have used in Canada for mapping water bodies, for example, lakes and rivers, using remote sensing. Okay. The next one is about, it's a client-server technology. The client doesn't need any special software, and all you need is a browser. And we process, analyze, render, display all sources of data in meteorology, for example, alphanumeric, satellite, radar, grip output, gopher output, all kinds of data is displayed with this. And next one, please. The next one is about what functionalities these functionalities mean. The display is georeference display, information coherence, and thematic information, for example, area of interest, auxiliary information, such as digital elevation model, stuff like that, analysis of all this data, and then decision support. So those are the various functionalities which this system provides. Next, please. Next slide, please. So this one is a generic configuration of such a system where you got on the left side all the inputs coming from various sources of data, and then you got a server where you process all this data, and the users are working through internet. This is the only system right now which completely supports all functionality through internet. Next one, please. Okay, so this is operational. For example, you can select the area of interest to the user. You can select what you want to show in the background. For example, the digital elevation model, or the airports, or the state boundaries, or whatever you are interested in. The next one is showing, the plotting of weather information, the significant weather charts. The next one is also showing the grid layer data for various parameters of atmosphere and multiple sources of data, and also radar data, which is very, very important for weather forecasting. Next slide is about, now this is also, overall displays of data all through web. The next one is about, cross-section of the atmosphere, as well as animation of data and profiles, which is very important for indices of atmosphere, very, very important for weather forecasting. Here you got something called a calculator. So if you want to use some calculation between different fields to get another parameter, that is what you use. You can use these macros to predefine whatever displays you want to generate. And there is a scheduler which will then generate those displays even before you need them to be displayed, so that it's very fast. Next one, please. Oh, you're pretty back. Next one, please. Okay, so this is the 3D globe showing the weather movement on a 3D globe, all different parameters, and from that you can judge, what the weather is in different areas of the world. And if you are interested, next one, please. If you are interested in a given area, you see some bad weather is brewing, you can take a slice of earth and make a cube. That means, you have X and Y and the Z coordinates. And you can have animation of this as well as multiple parameters. So up to 5 dimensions, all working through internet connection only. The next one, please. Okay, this is you need to make all kinds of charts in meteorology showing weather fronts and where the clouds are and all those. And this utility provides you the capability to do that on screen and also remotely. You don't have to be directly connected to the computer. Internet is used for that. The next one, please. The next one shows it's an infrastructure. So we used it for Canadian Coastal Zone System Overview diagram. Shows you how even for oceanography, which you can see on the left, the third square, GIS-based thematic information, all that can be processed for ocean data and see how the ocean water is moving. What is the temperature in the ocean? All kinds of different parameters. Now, my second part of the presentation is about a project which we did in India in 2007-2008, and that was called Agricultural Geocapacity Network. And I actually myself, the Prime Minister of Canada, the Minister of Natural Resources, and a number of other people visited India during that time. And we signed an agreement with the Chief Minister of Punjab, who was Harinder Singh at that time. And we started this project with the assistance of Canadian International Development Agency, which provided us 50% assistance, and we contributed 50% to develop a feasibility study. What are the problems of agriculture, say, in Punjab? And the idea was to expand it to rest of India after doing it in Punjab. What are the major problems agriculture is facing in India? So this idea was to build capacity to increase and sustain productivity, to ensure a fair standard. Oh, please move your slide. You are 2 slides behind. Next one, please. Okay. So the idea was, a general objective of the project was to, you are now too far. Previous one, please.
The
build capacity to increase the sustained productivity, to ensure a fair standard of living for the agriculture community, to stabilize markets. Initial project priorities were land usage, land changes, crop identification using satellite data, agriculture production estimation, and production forecasting. Those were the major goals. Next slide, please. The burning issues for Punjab were declining water table. So whereas one time you could find water at 20-25 feet, you have to go now 200 feet down to get any water. So tube wells, it's a very expensive affair now. The quality of water, the soil, the weather forecasting, was not being used. And for minimizing the losses in crop, you have to have, as Peter said before, all this weather intelligence, which is a very important part of agriculture. Better use of rice, wheat, straw, and protection of environment. Improvement in soil, water, and nutrient management. Use of integrated insect pest disease management, enhancement in crop productivity, improvement in socio-economic status of Punjab farmers, including issues of market mechanisms or mechanization, land parcel size, etc. Land use changes and diversification of crop patterns and farming systems, development of post-harvest technologies and value addition through processing, development and training of scientific human resources. Those were our major goals. The project was to be done in, next one please. The project was to be done in 4 phases. The first phase being the feasibility and organizational linkages, development of linkages, execution of a full feasibility study. And that was completed. Pilot system development. Now, also as a phase 1, we did an overall design of the system. The second phase was pilot system development for Punjab. That's where it stopped because the government changed and Mr. Bodle came in and he did not, pursue this, unfortunately, and the project didn't go ahead. I think that was a real loss for Punjab and for rest of India too. Phase 3 was to operationalize and capacity transfer to the locals, and then phase 4 was expansion to other states. Next slide, please. This was the overall design. I don't think you can read much out of this, but I can tell you what it is all kinds of inputs. What is the weather data, the water information, the information about land usage, information about, so all this kind of information coming into the system, and we had different modules designed for handling each one of these. As you can see up there, the remote sensing images coming from India's INSAT as well as other satellites such as RadarSat and whichever other satellites cover India. Then you can see at the bottom, very hard to read, but there is, land usage, land cover information from these images on top. You get those. And here the users can use various modules. For example, if you want to study, what is the status of soil in different areas, or what is the quality of water, all that information is available from this particular system. The benefits are consolidated information source for generating tailored reports and graphs. This is the next one, please. Next slide, please. For the agriculture decision support system, rapid and early creation of crop information to allow action to be taken more rapidly during a potential threat to crops at the local, state, and federal levels. Access to high quality and consolidated information to all users according to their requirements. For example, planners have the view of the system which is valuable to them, whereas farmers have a different view of the system which is of value to farmers. Reduction in organizational redundancies, rapid the building on existing infrastructure which is available today in India. A lot of work has been done by various departments, but it is not consolidated. So how to consolidate all that work? The works and where required and enhance the existing system, and thus leverage the pre-existing investment. Those were our benefits and goals. Okay, development environment to allow Government of India scientists to create new processes, flows as additional application needs arise. Use an open architecture so that the system can be expanded as the requirements change. The development of the system will be executed by Indian and Canadian experts. That was the idea, so that we make sure that technology transfer is done to the Indian scientists and Indian developers. The development of the system will be executed. So now the geocapacity concept can easily be extended to other application areas. For example, the coastal monitoring, disaster preparedness. It supports ongoing Indian spatial data infrastructure and uses ISO standard web interfaces.
Next slide, please.
With our current web GIS, which I showed to you, all these can be achieved, all these goals. So automated and semi-automated agriculture monitoring system designed to provide sustainable and regular data on key agriculture sector of the Punjab economy. It uses key leading edge technologies and skills from both India and Canada, provide knowledge of potential outcome risks to agriculture sector, to the appropriate federal, state, and local government agencies in a timely, sustainable, and repeatable fashion. We very strongly urge India to develop such a system, which will be of great value to the farmers and to our goal of quadrupling farmers' income by providing proper information, usage of the weather information and the technologies which were described by Peter. So that's why the slogan of the day is, the next one, please. Yeah, the slogan of the day is double farmers' income. And why only double? In next few years, even triple it. So IES and DTN are introducing the latest agriculture weather decision support system in India. And the GSS, which is decision support system, produces numerical weather based on field measured refined weather. What we do is we run an overall model and refine it using the measurements from the farm itself. Okay, so this service is provided worldwide in the field of agriculture support, and DTN is committed to United Nations SDGs, which were already described by Peter, which are Sustainable Development Goals. IES provide weather information systems, including AWSs, as well as services in the design, integration, installation, maintenance, and user support, consulting services for project management and execution and software development, customization as required by larger customers. So this is all to be done by us. DTN's Weather Sentry is the software application to be used for this. Source of data modeling. Actually, there was a company called Weather Decision Technology, which had tremendous capability for weather forecasting. It could, if radar data was available, it could do precision forecasting with 1 kilometer resolution. Whereas if the radar was not available, they could do 4 kilometers. So WDT was bought by DTN because of that great capability. And now, of course, DTN has all that capability of precision forecasting. The next one is a pilot project is underway for providing hands-on access demonstration of agriculture DSS to selected farmers. So what we are doing is we are selecting a few farmers, and we will be installing, or actually the ones we are selecting already have automated weather stations. So we'll be backhauling the data, and IES will be doing that in India. DTN will be providing the backend support, and the client are the farm owners or the farmers. And tasks for participants will be, they have been very clearly defined, and those who are participating, they will be given that information. Here is the picture of the model of the overall thing, which says on left side, this is the slide which talks different forms. For example, soybean farm there, vineyards, and all kinds of forms you can
Manish,
install.
can you move to the next slide, Mr. Manish? Okay.
Yeah. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. So here, as you can see, you've got AWSs in all these forms, and you can see, you know, this is a vineyard, this is soybean farm, so all kinds of farm. All this data will be backhauled to the high precision forecasting system of DTN, and it runs a, as I already stated, very high resolution model. In case of India, the radar data is not easily available because IMD is not providing it easily. So it's about 4 kilometer resolution, but using the data from the forms, it is, you know, made much more precise for that particular form. That's why these AWSs are there. So this is the kind of service. You can see the facility they have for weather forecasting has got huge computers, and which normal PCs just cannot do. Right now, I don't think there is any provider of this service in India who is doing that kind of precise weather forecasting. So that is the specialty of our partner DTN. And the next slide is, yeah, that's where we are located in Montreal and New Delhi. And that completes my presentation. Sorry that I could not display my own slides because the flow gets a little bit impeded when you cannot control your own slides. But I hope I passed my message.
Thank you, Dr. Ahluwalia ji, to hear such an address from Canada from a person who is a veteran in the field, and also, you know, a person who has crossed the 70 years age with young dynamism of at the age of 25, you know, that you have, you know, won the match. And Dr. Ahluwalia ji, it's very nice that I have been interacting with Dr. Ahluwalia for more than 3 decades, since 1990 onwards. The project which he mentioned, that is the Agro Geocapacity Network, is a very important project. It is a very comprehensive project, you know, proposal, and that time for the state of Punjab. And if this would have been operationalized, it would have been the first project in India of the nature, which would have been scaled up to almost all the districts of the country with respect to weather-based decision support system. It has got almost all ingredients. I gone through the project proposal on that time when I was in the service, and I also recommended that the project has to be operationalized in the state of Punjab, and he was forthright in, you know, giving the views that what was happened at that time. and what is necessary even in this time, that he was able to give the complete, the action plan. And in his presentation, he also very nicely said it, that the 9 most burning issues of Punjab agriculture: declining water table, declining soil health and increasing soil and water pollution, poor groundwater quality, insufficient weather data for in-season crop forecasts and agro-advisories, stagnation in crop productivity and quality, improper crop residue management, lack of integrated insect, pest, disease management, lack of post-harvested technologies, including value addition through processing, and poor socio-economic status of the lower rung of the Punjab farmers. That in this context, that the agriculture geocapacity network, when I asked him that why did you put that geocapacity as the terminology at that time, and his explanation was that the weather understanding, weather intelligence should not stop only with the weatherman. If the farmer has to be geocapacitated, that's what he used the word, is not only capacity building, they should also have a location specific, weather understanding, weather intelligence. That's why he said that he's used the word geocapacity. So, Dr. Ahluwalia, that the project proposal which you submitted, in 10 years back, is still relevant. And from the Shobhit University, Institute of Engineering and Technology, through its centers of excellence, Center for Agriculture Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, we would like to work with you. Now, this is a time that I would like to request our Honorable Chancellor, Shekhar, Shri Kunwar Shekhar Vijendra, to give his valedictory address. I would like to introduce the Honorable Chancellor to the audience. Shri Kunwar Shekhar Vijendra is the co-founder and Chancellor of the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, NAC accredited, deemed to be university, and Shobhit University, Gango, Uttar Pradesh. He is a prominent social entrepreneur based in New Delhi and carries leadership roles in many organizations. He has been nominated as the co-chairman of National Council on Education of ASOCHA, the oldest apex chamber of commerce in India, for the year 2020 and 2021. Shri Kunwar Shekhar Vijendra is a persistent advocate of initiatives for education for all, secular values, crisis management through diplomatic and peaceful ways, and globalized system of learning and harmonious coexistence. He has been instrumental in the development of a number of higher education institutes in North India, including 2 universities, many research centers, an Ayurveda Medical College and College of Naturopathy and Yogic Science, and a 100-bed eyes hospital. He is very actively involved with a number of social organizations. Acknowledging his contribution in the areas of education and other concerns, he has been copiously honored and awarded. He traveled widely in India and abroad to the countries like USA, UK, Germany, Australia, Russia, China, South Korea, Vietnam, Mongolia, United Arab Emirates, Mauritius, Rwanda, Uganda, and Croatia, etc., to participate in various professional, social, and educational activities. Shri Kunwar Shekhar is a passionate Gandhian, avid reader, keen learner, social speaker, and occasional poet and a dreamer. We welcome the Honorable Chancellor to address the International Webinar Series and Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022. The topic today is that, weather decision tool technologies for increasing farm income. Over to the Chancellor, Shobhit University.
Thank you very much, Professor Moni. And good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everybody. We know we are sitting at different places of the world. And this is the beauty of the technology, that it connects us all. On behalf of Shobhit University, first I would like to congratulate our Center for Agriculture Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies for taking up this issue. When we are talking about doubling farmers' income by 2022, it looks very inspiring, aspiring, but this is what is required globally. Today's wonderful speakers, Mr. Peter Johns and Dr. Ahluwalia, and I can see Leonardo also there. So thank you very much. It shows your commitment. Dr. Ahluwalia, I was listening to you. I understand it, at your place it is midnight, 70 plus. A person is sitting because he has a commitment and conviction that a change has to come. Change to the land he was born, I believe. And this commitment is what is required, what we are looking forward. I was told and I was able to see that Mr. Peter Johns, who is the Vice President of Global Sales of DTN, and DTN is the world leader and pioneer in the use of artificial intelligence and data analytics for weather prediction. When I was looking at the profile of 500,000 farmers, those who are connected with DTN, I was a bit disappointed that India was not there. US is there, Canada is there, Brazil is there, Ukraine, Central Asia, Australia and Russia is there. And I am very hopeful that India will be there in a large number soon, because farmers in India, it's a huge community, big community. Dr. Ahluwalia, when you were talking about your experiences of 2007, your initiative to come to India, when you went to Punjab and you did a feasibility study that how this agriculture geocapacity network systems in Punjab can be developed. And you mentioned about 9 burning issues out of that. Unfortunately, many of those issues exist today also. But we have to appreciate the government, our Honorable Prime Minister, that today there is a commitment. And the commitment is that we have to bring the change. When we talk about education, agriculture and this particular mission, I always say that tomorrow's weather depends on today's weather. The same way, the future tomorrow depends on our today's efforts. The future depends what we do today. And today what we are doing, we are discussing a possibility. Thank you very much for that. We are discussing that yes, it is possible. Technology is there. Possibilities are there. We are sitting together and we can do it together. And I am sure that through this, our Center of Excellence, through your own expertise and your companies, we can bring that change. I know as a university, we have our own limitations. We can help you in training, starting trainings. We can help you in R&D. But other things also, it will spread through the university if we join hands properly and we work systematically on that. Actually, when I look at the use of the technology which is happening globally and in India too, I was trying to look into the reports. I'm not an expert on weather technologies, nor an agriculturist actually. So the reports are very alarming. I was reading a research report which says that by 2050, globally, we will need to feed 2 billion more people without an increase of cultivatable land. It means we have to work with technology on that. And the report says further that over the next 40 years, the agriculture sector will need to produce more food than the industry has grown during the last 8,000 years. If this fact report has to be believed, then it's very alarming indeed. What to do? Definitely intervention of the technology, what you are doing globally, has to be there in India too. But there is a challenge in India. And for that challenge, I believe we all are discussing. And the challenge is that the community of 140 million farmers, out of that, 85% of our farmers are having a small or marginal holding. And when you have very small or marginal holding, you cannot use technology much effectively. It means technology has to be very user friendly. Just like maybe in today's world, what is WhatsApp and it is replacing even email, it has replaced many other things. It has to be such way that yes, the farmer sitting here at his own place, even in the remotest place of the country, they can use it, they can take a decision on the basis of data and information provided to them. One very important thing, Dr. Ahluwalia, you mentioned, which is a fact globally and in India too, that we all are working on data. But the data analytics part is missing somewhere. We are not able to analyze that data because that segmentation we are not able to do. Every data needs to be analyzed on local basis. It means at local level also, we have to develop the capacity. And that capacity building can be done by providing trainings to the local youth. Because it is not possible that we will sit in Delhi, we will sit in Canada or Minneapolis or any other place, and we can do it from there. It means we have to look into one vertical where you had a pain in Punjab a few years back with the burning issues, and still that pain is there. That not only we have to provide the technology, we have to provide training also to that. And this is the place where university can play a role with you. Yes, we are advocating that more and more integration of technology should be there. Niti Aayog, if you look at, they are looking into the possibilities that the world players should come in and they should play a role. More than $100 million immediate business is there, and this is the data. It must be more, and possibilities are there. So we are very keenly looking forward, and we welcome you to explore those possibilities. As a university, wherever we can be of your any use for the same, we will be more than happy for that. We are advocating about integration of technology with small and marginal farmers. Not at the large level, but the smallest level we are looking forward to the remotest places. And I am sure that today's webinar will help the stakeholders to understand, to have a better understanding and confidence that yes, technologies are available, companies are available, and most important, individuals are available, those who share the aspiration of our farmers and inspiration of our Honorable Prime Minister. So thank you very much. I'm looking forward to meet you all personally someday soon, post this pandemic, I believe. And I wish that the presence of your companies in the countries like India should be more stronger. Whatever we can do, again, I am putting this word, that whatever as a university we can do, we will be more than happy to do it for the benefit of our farmers. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you, Honorable Chancellor, for your very way forward advocacy in bringing in weather-related intelligence to the small and marginal farmers through the coordination, cooperation, and collaboration with weather-related, institution, industries, and so on and so forth. And today, webinar topic is more important. Mr. Peter Jones very effectively presented and talked to the audience about what type of advisory systems, technology-based advisory systems, artificial intelligence and machine learning-based, weather data analytics to the farmers, is possible and feasible, and in collaboration with IES, the veteran Dr. Harinder Singh Ahluwalia, through his very innovative project, Agricultural Geocapacity Network, weather-based intelligence system, advisory systems, agricultural, agromet advisory systems, and risk management, which is built in his project, that is Agricultural Geocapacity Network. And and that is very important, and I'm very happy with the assurance given by the Honorable Chancellor of the University, and the spirit in which, the dynamism in which, and the capacity in which both Mr. Bitter and Dr. Harinder Singh Ahluwalia spoke today to the audience, even though we had little bit of problems in presenting because of the technology related issues. But finally, Dr. Harinder Singh Ahluwalia said it, why only we talk about doubling the farmer's income? It can be more than doubling, it can be tripled. And in this topic, on 1st December, and another very technocrat and bureaucrat and UN advisor talked about is not only doubling the farmers, we can even achieve 4 times, quadrupled. Today we are hearing from a veteran like Dr. Harinder Singh Ahluwalia at from the midnight today in Canada, he says that it can be even tripled. So this is possible, feasible, and Mr. Peter said it, that 75% of the production cost is related, problem can be overcome if the weather related decision support system is with the farmer. So I am very happy for both of you to participate from US in the midnight. Now it is a early morning there, and for the cause of Indian farmers, Indian farming system, to bring in technology-based solutions to India. And very nicely said it by the Chancellor that in all the services which the DTN is providing under UN Charter, India is not there. We welcome you through the UN Charter to India to provide such services through, in close cooperation between IES and DTN and the 2 centers of excellence, Center for Agriculture Informatics and E-Government Research Studies, and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies of the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, to provide these world services to the farmers based on agricultural informatics and machine learning and big data analytics. And I would like to, since all of you are here, and I would like to give some action plan points for us to take it up further. Because for me, agriculture geocapacity network is very important to achieve to facilitate the mission mode objective of the doubling the farmers' income by 2022. Farmers having geocapacity is more important. So we would like to promote, in collaboration with both of you, agri-tech startup on agromet advisory services to provide services to farmers through the farmers producers organization or primary agriculture cooperative societies to the small and marginal farmers of the country. We would like to have a center of excellence in agromet advisory services through an appropriate MOU between the university, IES, and DTN. Launching of online courses on DTN agricultural decision support system and agriculture geocapacity network to strengthen agriculture production by sensitizing weather and climate change components, and also to initiate pilot project through this Center of Excellence in various studies. These four are my, desired action points for taking up from the wisdom which has been shown by both the international experts, Mr. Peter Jones of DTN and Dr. Harinder Singh Ahluwalia, and very nicely advocated and decided by the Honorable Chancellor, Shri Kunwar Shekhar Vijendra. And I also thank Mr. Leonardo, who is also from DTN participating. He is participating throughout the session, and today we have achieved what we would like to convey to our party participants on the title, that weather decision technologies for increasing farmers' income. And I think Dr. Harinder Singh Ahluwalia wants to speak. Dr. Ahluwalia.
Thank you very much, Professor Moni. All I can say is a person of your caliber and very persistent person like me, that is our common quality, which is we are very persistent. And we both mean to do whatever is required to improve India's farmers' lot and India's technologies. We are very much both interested in doing that. I come to India normally about 3, sometimes 4 times, and Peter has been to India multiple times, visited all over India. And Honorable Chancellor said that he did not see in Peter's presentation India, but that's what we are bringing now to India. Peter and myself, we are bringing to India DTN and IES. IES is already there, but in this particular field, more strongly than ever before. And with blessing of both of you, I think there is an excellent chance of succeeding in that. I also noticed that Honorable Chancellor, the list of countries did not include Canada. So I hope that he will also visit Canada one of these days, and I'll be very pleased to show him around what Canada is like. So I'm committed. My commitment is not only to India itself, but also around the world, because last week we had a very big meeting of all African nations, which I presided. And in that meeting, we discussed how to build capacity in Africa. And Dr. Moni's idea also we have discussed before is that we should do something in Africa. Instead of giving money, we should help them in improving their agriculture. And that would be a great contribution of India to Africa, for example. So these are the kind of things we should be thinking of and implementing wherever we can. If there is anybody who is persistent and can do it, it is Dr. Moni and myself also. And I am so thoroughly pleased that the Honorable Chancellor is so supportive of this whole effort. And Peter Jones, he's an honorary Indian. And I'm sure he will help in every way to bring the technologies which are required in India with us. We will certainly work on that. And we will also consider the 4 points which Dr. Moni made about cooperation between 2 organizations, which is university and our group. So we should look into that and make it happen. That is very important. Words are cheap, I always say, but action is what achieves something. Let's go for that. Thank you very much.
Mr. Peter Jones, you would like to, have a word with the Chancellor of the university?
Yes, thank you, Chancellor, and thank you, Dr. Moni, and also to all the speakers today. And we're really thankful for the opportunity to work with you. and more importantly, to create a partnership between not only DTN and our friends at Info Electronics, but with Shobhit University and the Indian farming community to provide not just technology, but know-how on how to use the technology and make it available for every single farmer in India. We think there's a great potential and a great opportunity for the country of India as well in farming and expanding agriculture. And again, we thank you and look forward to working with you, and hopefully we'll see you soon in India.
Thank you very much. And with the permission of the Chancellor, now I would like to thank all the participants and Dr. Harinder Singh Ahluwalia, Mr. Peter Jones, and Mr. Leonardo, and finally the Chancellor of the Shobhit University, Shri Kunwar Shekhar Vijendra. And I would like to thank all the participants.
Thank you.
And we will close the session. And thanks for your participation, and greeting from Shobhit University. For more research inquiries, please contact Professor Moni Malaswamy, Professor Emeritus and Chairman of Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Studies, and Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, and former Director General, National Informatics Center, Government of India, New Delhi. Email ID is moni@shobhituniversity.ac.in. Thank you very much. Good day. We leave the studio now.